Alright guys, so it's been like a long time since I've done a metalworking video, forge, anvil, fire, that kind of stuff. But the pictures preceding this video show that I took an old bandsaw blade that was pretty much wiped out and I cut it into pieces, overall probably 9 inches long, and that's most guys, pinky to thumb spread out as far as you can go, is roughly 9 inches for most guys. And I cut them down, welded them together on the end and here towards the other end. I didn't want to weld them in the middle because I want some space, and I'm going to forge weld these. So I use borax for my flux. Borax is all natural since 1891, so it's got to be good, right? But it usually works out good for me. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to douse this metal in, and I did wipe this down before I welded them together, and I didn't show that in the pictures or anything, but I did wipe them down with a rag and some rubbing alcohol to get rid of any oil or grease. I don't believe there was any on it to begin with, but just to clean them up a little bit. So we're going to douche it down with the borax, and then we're going to put it in the forge, and we're going to forge weld this together. And my goal is, with the pond that I've got here, I've bought 2 fillet knives, and I'm not going to say they were expensive, but you know, anything that you spend today is, you really will want to or need to get your money's worth, and they were junk in my opinion. So the goal here is to make a fillet knife. So we're gonna, like I said, spread some borax inside here, get it good and impregnated, and then we're gonna throw it in the fire and we're gonna start to forge weld this. So let me get that done and we'll be right back. Alright, so I poured the borax in between each strand of the blade, the bandsaw blade that is, and now it's in the forge. We're getting it heated up and we're going to start working it. BRB, aka be right back. If you've seen my other videos, this is the Whisper Mama forge. It doesn't take a lot of time to get this up to temperature to start working with it, so we're just about ready, and it's only been like a minute. It's going to look ugly in the beginning, but you'll see it's going to come together. While that's heating up, I'm going to get ready to put some more borax on it. Once it's good and hot, I'm going to cover it again with borax because you need it to be really clean to do a really good forge weld. So I'm probably going to skip that part of the video and we'll be back. So here's the borax on it once it's been heated up, and you see it kind of melts actually like flux does, and this is exactly what we're looking for. So the metal goes back into the forge covered in borax, and we're going to let it get good and hot this time. So we're really hot, and we're going to start to shape this and forge weld it together. Clean off all the slag, so to speak. We're going to borax it again. Back into the fire. And this should be ready to, actually it's going to go back in the fire to get it warmed up. And then we're going to put the borax on it. And it should be really ready to start forge welding it together. So this is the last application of borax. I like to do it twice, maybe 3 times if it's really dirty metal. But think twice will be okay with this. It was fairly clean steel. We'll get it back in the fire and we'll come right back. So there is in the fire. I'm going to let it really get good and hot this time, and then we're going to start rolling it, flipping it, and forge welding it all together, and then we're going to look to draw out the final shape. So we're pretty good and hot, and now we're going to get a little aggressive with the hammer. Because it's so thin, it's definitely going to cool down quick. Alright, we got a lot of heat going on here, so now I'm going to fold this over. And again, get a little aggressive on the hammer. Alright, so we're back. Aggression on the hammer. So this is going to be part one. I really didn't think it was going to take this long, but off camera it took a ton of heat and hammering to get to this point. So our shape is kind of coming into reality, and it's not pretty, but I was just beating it out to get the shape, and we're still not there. This obviously needs to come to a sharp point, and our blade will be about here to here, and then I'm going to make a nice wooden handle to fit it. But we need to flatten this out. We need to draw this down to get a little bit of a curve, not too much of a curve. I like a straight edge for a fillet knife, so that's what our goal is going to be in the next video, or it'll be the next video, but it will be the next time that I continue to work on this. It's 5:45 p.m. Saturday, November, what the hell am I saying? September 9th, and I have a couple of steaks I need to go make. So yeah, a lot more hammering than I realized. Honestly, first time I used bandsaw blades to make anything out of. I thought it would be easy. Hopefully I have no gaps or anything like that in the forge weld. I rolled it a couple of times, and I actually went to a farrier school, and the guy that taught the school, his biggest part of that was we did hot shoeing, and it was a lot of forge work, a lot of anvil work. So I kind of have an idea what I'm looking for, but yeah, there's a lot more work here to be done. Doesn't even look like the same steel anymore. It came out well actually for the forge weld, but that borax really works well. And it's much longer than I hoped. It's got to be 10 1/4 inches. Let's get a tape measure just for the hell of it and see. Alright, it's more like 10 7/8. Pretty close to my guesstimation. But yeah, this is part one, and we'll be back with part two to show how this finishes up. Alright guys, have a great weekend, and we'll talk soon. Take care.